Some people say there's no feeling better than hitting the open road. The wind in your hair, the smell of the forest, the sound of your engine revving, and the tires ripping the dirt on the road. But I have to disagree. There is something better than hitting the open roads. It's going 70 miles per hour and ramming your custom Harley into the chest of some asshole who just tried to blow your brains out. The only game I know that lets you do that, other than GTA, is the open world biker zombie apocalypse Sony PS4 exclusive, Days Gone. I remember watching that first gameplay trailer for the game, and I was more excited than a Catholic priest in a playground. I love zombie games. I couldn't tell you how many hours I spent playing COD Zombies, Dying Light, Dead Space, and the other ones. But this game was the first to have an expansive open world while also having massive hordes of aggressive zombies. It seemed like GTA meets Left 4 Dead, but after being betrayed by games like Unity and Watch Dogs that released in unplayable states, I'd learned my lesson, and I made a choice to always wait a few weeks after a game comes out before buying it. No more pre-orders or day one purchases for me. I was too broke and couldn't risk spending half my savings on a bad game. A few months later, Days Gone came out. I went online to look at the reviews and initial reactions, but it wasn't good. The game sold well, but reviewers and critics didn't seem to think it was good enough, and complained about glitches, a mild open world, and a boring main character. So I chose to save what little money I had, and like a responsible adult, I invested it instead on the local racetrack. I lost it all in an hour. Now all the broke boys, gals, and nebbies watching this video probably already know about PS Plus games, but those who don't, let me explain. Every month the PlayStation Store releases 2, sometimes 3 games for free, and at least one of these games will always be a AAA game. I've gotten God of War, Uncharted, the Uncharted Collection, Control, Resident Evil 7, and many more games all for free from it. It's amazing. And in April 2021, I finally got Days Gone, for free too. I started playing it right away. It was mid-pandemic and I wasn't going out. I have a YouTube channel, guys. It obviously means I have no friends to hang out with, so what else was I gonna do? I had a lot of time to invest myself in this world, and it quickly became one of my favorite games. I still don't understand why it flopped, and I don't think I ever will. I do get some of the complaints in the game, but overall this thing was well made and well designed. The story and world building are just as good, if not better, than other open world games, and the gameplay is a lot of fun. This is a top tier zombie game, and I really want an excuse to play it again. It's just fun to have somewhere to escape to. We're stuck in this world ravaged by a pandemic, so I want to escape to a world ravaged by an even worse pandemic. It was easy picking a challenge for this game. The whole appeal of Days Gone is fighting hordes of zombies with whatever guns you can find. The game even has an ability for you to slow down time while shooting to make it easier to win gunfights. No, it's not Deadeye or Michael's ability. They call it focus, so it's different. Wait, that's the exact same power from Watch Dogs, isn't it? On the hardest difficulty, Survivor 2, where enemies do the max amount of damage and have the max amount of health, where loot is very rare, where I have no HUD and no fast travel in a massive open world. Without losing my sanity, can I beat Days Gone with no guns? So usually at this point in the video I'd explain the challenge, but I don't really need to for this one. Playing on a new game, I have to complete Days Gone without using guns. That means melee weapons and throwables are fair game, but that's not as easy as it sounds. The hardest difficulty combines two things that make this challenge hard. Enemies doing the maximum amount of damage and having the maximum amount of health make close combat nearly impossible, which means using throwables is the logical way to go. And I could do that if loot wasn't so rare, but because it takes forever to get good loot on Survivor 2, I could barely craft throwables, and I will be saving what little throwables I have for fighting hordes, boss zombies, or very hard sections. Here, I just want to show you guys how strong enemies are on Survivor 2. This is a clip from an old save file on the same difficulty. I'm fighting a Breaker, which is this game's version of a brute zombie. Using two of the strongest guns in the game, the RPD and the IDF Pup, it still takes me all the ammo of my assault rifle, over 2 clips of my RPD, and more than 2 minutes to kill one enemy. And there are sections of the game where I have to fight multiple Breakers at the same time. So somehow I have to figure out how to beat all these guys and all the other bullet sponges in the game without shooting once. This challenge is going to take a while. Days Gone is a long game, and without fast travel, it gets a lot longer. So do me a favor and just don't look down at the timestamp, okay? Cool. Let's get started with the run.
If you have ever wondered how to pray in tongues, this video is for you. It's like a fart. You just let her rip. Amen, amen, amen. Please comment down below if you prayed in tongues.
Starting a new game is actually easy this time. I don't have to go into my game's files and delete all of my save data like I had to do for AC Unity. The game begins with a prologue cutscene where Deacon, his wife Sarah, and his wife's boyfriend Boozer are all trying to escape the city as the outbreak begins. Sarah unfortunately got stabbed by a little kid, which is pretty pathetic. Kids are like the easiest type of human to beat up, well, next to babies. And the elderly, I guess. They find a government chopper going to a refugee camp, somewhere Sarah can get medical attention, but the chopper is overweight and can't take any more passengers. So Deacon does a little convincing and gets O'Brien to agree to let 2 people on. Can't take all 3 or else the chopper will be too heavy to fly. Sarah gets on, guesses where they're going, and tells Sarah he's going to stay behind because if he doesn't, Boozer will die, and Sarah should be safe at the camp that she's going to. He gives her her rings, and they take off. It's about 2 years later now. The world has ended. Boozer and Deacon are chasing down Leon. No, not that Leon. He's from the other zombie game. This Leon stole from them and killed one of their friends. This bike chase is part of the tutorial, so it's pretty easy, but I do get to use Deacon's fully upgraded bike, which is pretty cool because this thing goes really fast, handles really well, makes driving a breeze, and I can do all these cool jumps. I don't have to worry about crashing. I'm basically... After sending Leon to meet the Queen, rest in piss to both of them, we head to Crazy Willie's to find Deacon a new fuel pump for his damaged bike. On the way there, we get ambushed by some bandits, and I have my first real fight of the game. Now, this is a tutorial to introduce the melee system in the games. It's easy, but playing on the hardest difficulty means I still die in 2 hits. So getting clipped once put me in a near-death state, and with no heals, I have to be very careful until I find some. I did try picking up this guy's axe, but the game wouldn't let me, so for now I'm stuck with the default melee weapon, the boot knife. A little ways up the road, we get into a tunnel filled with freaker nests. So Boozer gives Deacon a shotgun, and I have to clear the nest while Boozer just, I don't know, watches from his bike for some reason. I don't know why he doesn't get off his ass and help me, but okay. After lighting up the nest, I switch to my knife and start killing the zombies. Now from this clip you could probably see why this section sucked, or I guess you can't see, which is the problem. Being in a near-death state makes my screen red. Combining that with the tunnel being pitch black and only having light from Boozer's bike and his gunshots made seeing what's happening basically impossible. Only 10 minutes into the challenge and it's already way too hard. Continue through the tunnel, we fight more zombies here and there, and I die a few times doing so. I feel like I'm playing a one-hit KO run of Dark Souls right now. I was eventually able to loot a bit and get enough to make a few bandages to heal myself. After that, the tunnel was easy. Crazy Willie's is overflowing with freaks, kind of like my TikTok For You page.
But every time a being from the Ancestral Republic tries to enter into the known land, it sets off an earthquake. The custodians and Anunnaki have such a tight surveillance system, anytime a being tries to enter into our dome, it sets off small or large earthquakes in the surrounding areas. So the beings from the Ancestral Republic can't get in through the entrances, so they're trying to figure out a way to make their own.
So Boozer lures majority of them out of Crazy Willie's with his bike, and Deacon begins sneaking his way in. Days Gone has a pretty decent stealth system, and without it, I probably wouldn't have been able to do this challenge. While in stealth, you can instant kill basic enemies if you get behind them, saving me both time and materials. Looted a bunch while I was going through the Willies and found my first melee weapon. There are a range of melee weapons in the game. Each melee weapon does more damage than the boot knife, but has a certain amount of durability. Once it reaches 0, that weapon is gone. On top of the garage, I fight my first wave of newts. Newts are kids that turn into zombies. They're very easy to kill, but they attack in groups, so they can be a pain in the ass sometimes. See, Sarah, this is how you beat up kids. Actually, Deacon's a little too good at beating up children. I would not want to be his son. After getting the fuel pump, I make my way to Boozer where he gets ambushed by a group of Rippers. A super nice group of environmental activists. No, I'm just joking. They're called Rippers. What do you think they do? They're a bloodthirsty cult. They pin him down and start burning off his arm with a blowtorch. This is the first fight in the game with enemies that have guns, so I knew this was going to take a few tries. On my first try, I wanted to see if the devs gave Boozer invulnerability. They did not. Makes sense that the game fails me for throwing a bottle of fire on my friend who I need to rescue because he's currently being burnt alive. Next few tries, I tried a bunch of different strats to get the kills. It was very hard because I don't have much health, I don't have many heals, my weapons are weak, and I only have one cocktail I can use. My main method of attack was switching to each different enemy after hitting them a few times, so no one Ripper had enough time to shoot me. But I was still losing doing this. I went to the back of the truck to heal once, where I learned only one of the 3 Rippers would follow me back there. It's the one without the gun. The other 2 stay in cover. So I can easily murk him while he's by himself, and I don't have to worry about being shot by the others while doing it. Even though I died on this attempt, I knew that he'd behave the same way the next time, and I was able to kill him right away, without getting shot by the other guys. I got really lucky when I came out of the truck, and both the Rippers were close enough together, and far enough away from Boozer that I can kill them with one cocktail, and not accidentally light my friend on fire.
Again. What's the deal with this Lana Del Rey burning Bibles? If you've wondered that, this video is for you.
Before heading out for medical supplies, I spot someone scouting out our camp, so I follow him back to his little hideout. This is the first bandit camp I fight. These are honestly pretty easy if I can stay in stealth. The best thing about clearing camps like this one is looting the bodies afterwards. Humans always drop some loot, but for some reason it's almost always the ingredients for crafting bandages, which basically means if I clear a camp or fight any group of humans, I'm almost guaranteed to have max heals afterwards. Because of that, having meds on me was never a problem during the run. Got to my bike, but it's not there anymore. It either pulled a Bella Delphine and just disappeared, or Deacon is like my demented grandma and can't remember he left his shit, or I guess someone could have stolen it. Deacon spots the thief and chases it down to Copeland's camp, a friendly survivor camp run by Max Copeland, the most American, dare I say more American than the dad from American Dad, and that is literally the dad of America, so you know that man is American. When I get to Manny the Mechanic sounds like the title of a kid's TV show, I learned that they thought the bike was abandoned and parted out already. Deacon's bike has been destroyed, just like my dreams of becoming the first man to look like a failed cloning experiment swimming on his yacht was destroyed. A monster that calls itself Elon Musk beat me to it. After talking to Copeland and Manny, I agreed to do some work for them and they will help me build a new bike. This whole bike fiasco is the game's way of explaining why a biker 2 years into the apocalypse needs to start upgrading a bike from scratch. So no more maxed out bike. I'll now be slowly upgrading this piece of junk throughout the duration of the game. I want to upgrade the bike's max speed and durability, making future bike chases easier, and I want to upgrade the bike's fuel tank, so I don't have to refuel as much and I won't have to waste any more time doing that. Hey, speaking of waste, you should totally check out my band Waste. We actually just dropped a new Sorry?
No, can't do that.
No, I'm not allowed to do that yet.
Nope, not plugging it in.
Later I can plug my van.
No, you cannot.
Oh, can I ask him to subscribe?
No, not a chance. No one wants to subscribe to your fucking shit channel, bro. Shut up.
After getting a new bike, I head to my first Nero checkpoint to find the meds for Boozer. Nero, the National Emergency Response Organization, set up a bunch of these checkpoints early on in the apocalypse, I guess to like make sure the zombies had proper papers on them before they traveled across borders. I don't really understand how these would be useful, but whatever. While clearing the checkpoint, I level up, allowing me to use my first skill point. In Days Gone, there's 3 different skill trees, one for melee, one for ranged, and one for survival. I won't be unlocking any of the skills in the range tree because obviously those aren't useful for me, but the other 2 trees are very good. Like the first skill I got in the melee tree. It's called Field Repairs and now allows me to repair melee weapons with metal scrap, meaning I keep weapons indefinitely. After turning on the power to the checkpoint, I get Boozer's meds and my first Nero injector. These injectors I found throughout the map, and a use of each one lets me upgrade either my total health, stamina, or focus. Focus is not useful to me, so I'll only be upgrading my health and stamina. Co-op wants me to clear out some bandits from a radio tower. Stealth is my best option right now with my weak weapons and low max health. Got a few kills before being double teamed by a wolf and a bandit. Not my ideal DP, but whatever works.
Da Vinci?
On my second try, I was able to stay in stealth without getting detected, so it was easy to clear out the camp. I even had time to make this horrible joke. Don't smoke. Smoking kills. The mission was easy, it just took me 27 minutes, which is way too long to kill 10 guys, and it's one of the reasons why this run took so long, because clearing areas just with melee or just with stealth is way more time consuming than just running in with a gun. Before climbing the tower, Wuno comes up behind Deacon with her gun drawn, but doesn't shoot, meaning she doesn't have any ammo left. So she pleads for mercy and Deacon lets her go. See, Deacon is dumb. He thinks he's being really cool, but he's kind of being an insane misogynist right here. Deacon has this rule where he won't kill any unarmed women, but regardless if it's a man, a woman, or a they, you shouldn't treat them differently. You can choose to keep them alive or not, that's up to you, it's the end of the world, you know what I mean? Do whatever you want. But to act like women are innocent just because they're women and men aren't just because they're men is stupid and misogynist. Video games and action movies often add this trope to the main character to show that they are actually nice and moral underneath their rough exterior, but it just pisses me off because it implies they just kill innocent men and let murderous women go sometimes. I personally would have blown that bitch's head off. She just tried to kill me. Climbing the tower takes fucking forever, and I can't just slide down when I'm done, so it takes me like another minute to climb down. Even Deacon gets annoyed.
Oh, shit's killing me.
Cleared another camp easily. Just kidding, but for real, it was easy. On my way to the cemetery to find the goods Leon stole, I came across another Nero checkpoint and a freaker horde chilling nearby. On a normal run, I would skip this and come back for the upgrade later. It's too dangerous with the horde, but I kinda have no choice on this playthrough. I need to level myself up and upgrade my bike and stats as early on as I can in the story. This is because like most games, progression is linear. I will fight harder and harder enemies as the story progresses, so I want to exploit the open world environment while enemies are still weak and get as many upgrades as I can early on. This is the same strategy I use in every challenge that has an open world. The only downside to doing all this is the amount of time it takes. Without all this grinding and looting, this run would have probably been like half the total playtime. Right before I turn the power to the checkpoint, I cut off some speakers attached to the roof. These speakers will turn on, making loud noises and attracting freakers if I power on the checkpoint before these are destroyed. So to make sure I can get through this without being seen, I gotta cut them all off. And I thought I did, but I missed one. Oops. Got inside, took my upgrade and all the loot. Instead of just leaving the horde, like a normal intelligent person would, I chose to find the speaker that was on and turn it off. If I didn't, every time I drove through this area, there would be an angry horde in the middle of the road. But turning that speaker off and running from the horde is a lot harder than I thought. So I said, fuck it, why not try to fight the horde? It would be useful if I got all the XP for killing all these zombies. After dying a few more times, I was able to clear the horde. Even though I don't have many explosives yet, this area has a lot of explosives in the environment, like this truck. So that, plus this being a relatively small horde, made it possible. Got so excited that I flexed my little twig arms. I'm pretty sure your grandma could lift more than me. Got to the cemetery and found Leon's stash, but on my way out, a Nero chopper flies overhead. Nero hasn't been seen in years, and assume they all died after their checkpoints and camps were overrun. But they're here now, and Deacon wants to snoop on them to find out what they're doing. After listening in on them, you learn 2 things. 1, Nero's still around and they're focused on researching the virus, and 2, O'Brien, the Nero employee who took Sarah 2 years ago, is still alive. When Deacon calls Boozer to let him know, we learn what happens to Sarah for the first time. 2 years ago, when Deacon and Boozer got to the refugee camp to look for their girlfriend, they found it to be overrun with no survivors. Sarah's assumed to have died that night, but if O'Brien, who was at the same camp, is still alive, then maybe Sarah is too.
From people who were believed to be dead but honestly weren't, 10 times people woke up at their own funerals.
Did my first bounty hunt mission. These missions have Deacon chase down someone on a bike. Without guns, these are pretty hard. There's only 2 ways to damage someone while on a bike. Shoot them, which I can't do, or ram into them with my bike. Although this first bounty is easy, late game, these become a pain in the ass. Found a sniper looking for me in the sky for some reason. Gave her a quick neck adjustment. Game crashed. Great. Loaded back in before I killed the sniper and had to fight her again. This time the game spawned 2 snipers though, just to make it harder on me, I guess. After that I tried to make this jump to get another Nero injector. Got a few more bike upgrades from Manny and I made my way way to meet Tucker on the other side of the map. Tucker is the leader of another friendly camp, same as Copeland's. They give me work and I can buy supplies from them. Went up to the refugee camp Sarah was sent to visit her. She looks different. After clearing the area of freaks, another chopper flies overhead and Deacon starts chasing it. During this chase, I get introduced to runners. Infected wolves that can run faster than I could drive. If one is chasing you and you don't shoot it, it will knock you off your bike, which is very fucking annoying for me because I can't do anything other than wait until they knock me off. After getting my cheeks beat by them a few times, I was able to get lucky and ditch the runner after it missed a lunge. The chopper lands at a research site, but quickly cuts after being chased off by a horde, and I head in to steal the radio they left behind. Before picking it up, I get jump scared by an albino kid, so I beat his pale ass to get it back. That's what you get, you tiny little slender man. After watching a cutscene where Deacon is the world's most passive-aggressive biker,
I do research. I study things.
Thanks. Had no idea what research was.
Tucker gives me a call and tells me to go check out a nearby town. A little girl was spotted surviving on her own down there, and she wants me to bring her in. Gracefully drove myself to town, where I started tracking her. As I'm searching my way through town, a bunch of rippers ambush me. Thankfully, I'm able to stay in stealth and kill most of them without being seen. As I was carefully crawling my way through this building to stealth kill the sniper upstairs, I randomly hear this.
I see.
And it straight up made me shit my pants.
Shut the fuck up. No, you don't. That's so fucking scary.
What made it even freakier was that no ripper actually detected me. I mean, look at the sniper. She's still looking for me in the sky. I don't know why all these snipers think I'm a bird. After stealth killing a few more rippers, the last one vaults on top of me.
Someone's here.
Yeah, obviously, bro, you're right on top of me. I know the rippers are supposed to be drugged out all the time, but goddamn, how high is this guy? The next set of rippers detected me automatically, meaning I have to fight them this time. It was pretty hard because I still died very easily, or because of stupid stuff like my controller disconnecting as I stood up to throw a cocktail. Luckily, there's a freaker nest nearby, and freakers will attack anything close to them. So I lure out the zombies, get them to lose sight of me, and they start attacking the rippers. Did some looting while the reapers finished them off, and by the time I got back to the area, it was clear and I could head into the house to find the girl. Her name is Lisa, and after some convincing, I got her to agree to come with me to camp. Fortunately, the town is crawling with freakers now, and my bike is still on the other side of the map. So with Lisa, I slowly sneak my way back to the other side, sticking to the edge of the map. Right as I turn the corner, instead of seeing my bike, I see the biggest brown ass I've ever seen. Yes, even bigger than your mother's. One of the bears from the Charmin commercials must have escaped, and I've got to kill him. This is the first boss fight of the game. Normally it's pretty easy, just climb to the top of the building and shoot him from there. It's not like he can pick up a gun and start shooting from afar, so if you keep your distance, it's a breeze. I, however, cannot keep my distance from the bear, which makes this fight hard. Now I don't have many explosives yet. Without the recipes to craft different types or carry more than 3 at a time, I'm pretty low on firepower, and meleeing a bear isn't exactly an option I'm excited about trying. So my plan is to lure the bear near explosives in the environment and blow them up to do massive damage. I did it here and was able to take out a quarter of the bear's health with just one cocktail. Missed a throw, but don't worry, the bear is stupid and just ran into the fire 5 seconds later, so it still didn't go to waste. Out of bombs, I started meleeing the bear, and it goes as well as you would expect it to. Second try went about the same as the first. With my bombs, I can get him to under 50% health, but the last 50 I would have to melee him. I took a second to think of a plan on top of this trailer when the bear decided that he didn't like that. Instead of meleeing the bear right away, I went to go look for supplies in nearby buildings. Luckily, I found a pipe bomb in the garage, but the bear ran away from it when I threw it, and I wasted not only the bomb, but also the huge propane tank. Went to get some loot from other buildings, got a few more throwables, and I lost sight of the bear. So I started looking for him in the back when this happened.
I need to gotta get him. I just need to get him. Oh fuck!
Yeah, I don't know how a 2-ton animal can sneak up on someone like that without making any noise, but this guy did it. I missed my first throw, but got him on my second, where he ran at me while he was on fire, which is total nightmare fuel. Did a bit more looting, got more cocktails, and finally finished off the bear. Honestly, that fight was not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but that's only because I could loot all these buildings for supplies. The thing that sucks about these sections where I have to fight and can't just run away or stay in stealth is knowing that in order to complete it, I will have to use majority of my loot. That means after I beat this section, I'm gonna have to spend the next 20 to 40 minutes looting the open world because I can't continue doing missions with no loot. It's one of the many reasons this challenge took me so long. Spending half of a 3-hour stream looting or grinding stats so I won't die later in the run made everything take way longer than it could have. But it's also why I love streaming these live at twitch.tv/crispy645, because during these boring parts I can talk to chat. Well, if there's ever anybody in chat.
On the way back to Tucker, we run into an ambush in the tunnel. Thank God there was a lot of cover here, otherwise I would have gotten obliterated.
I can't really take much damage from guns right now, and I'll die after a few shots. So when I fight humans head on like this, I constantly roll around and move in between covered sections so I don't get killed. After returning to Lisa, I hear on the radio that O'Brien is landing nearby with a research team. Deacon sneaks his way in to figure out just why he is alive and Sarah isn't. After some more convincing, man, Deacon really loves to pull his gun out on this guy. O'Brien tells me Sarah and him were diverted to a different camp that night, but he doesn't know what happened after that. So Deacon convinces him again, and O'Brien promises to find out more and radio Deacon back.
Vanessa is one of 7 pint-sized shooters attending what's called the Little Girls Youth Training. promoting shooting sports for kids.
Started a mission with Cope where him and I just go around hunting. Should have been a really easy mission, you know, just walk around and listen to dialogue, but no, this has to be the first mission where I fail. Eventually, you and Cope stumble across a deer grazing, and Cope hands you his rifle to take the shot. Tried different strats here to see if it's possible to get past it without using the rifle, but it's not. Tried walking up to the deer, but the game fails you if you get too close. I tried switching to a different weapon or item, but the game locks you out of every option but the rifle. I tried looking up any glitches or skips, and I even watched some any % speedruns to see if I could find something that would allow me to get past this part, but nothing came up. Last thing I tried to do was glitch out Copeland and maybe find a skip somehow, so I spent a good 10 minutes pushing Copeland around trying to fuck up his AI, but nothing worked, and he would always reset to the same position. So I threw in the towel, roleplayed as the worst character in Bambi, and shot the deer.
The thicket!
As always, I keep going with the run just to see how much is possible without guns, but no, you can't beat this game without shooting. Jumped off this waterfall right before I got scared shitless by the random horde chilling at the bottom of it. Spent some time fucking around with them until I accidentally shot a bullet and got myself killed to restart from the last checkpoint. I accidentally discharged my gun a few times during the run. Each time, I would just reload the checkpoint to pretend like it never happened. I wish I could reload a checkpoint in real life when I accidentally discharged my meat gun, but no, I can't. I just have to sit there as the prostitute laughs in my face for lasting about as long as it takes a normal man to put on a condom.
How's it going, y'all? I'm Lenny Hickerson, and welcome back to my channel, Hunter Reacts, where I look at subscriber-submitted hunting videos and give y'all my tips and my opinions. And to dickheads like I Heart Veganism 87 that keep saying, "You're not a real hunter. That accent is obviously fake." Yeah, okay, city folk. Well, what do you think about this? Look at that. Yeah, we not so tough now, huh? Yeah, that's right. That's a genuine camo hat, and only two types of people wear camo. One, people pretending to be in the military, and two, professional hunters like myself. Now today we will be reacting to a deer hunting video submitted by Deacon St. John. Oh, Christian, he's good. He's one of us. Now, I love deer hunting. Me and my wife go deer hunting all the time. I think we've been deer hunting together since we was 11 years old. That's the summer our daddy taught us how. All right, now in this clip, you can see Deacon's actually using a very advanced technique, albeit controversial. It's called pre-cooking. It's when you toss a cocktail at the game for the kill. By doing this, you not only kill the animal, but actually cook it at the same time, saving you precious hours of your time so you can go spend it with your sister wife. Now, personally, I use cocktails made on my homemade moonshine, but you can use kerosene-based ones just as well. Might not taste as good, though. Now, people call this technique controversial because of how cruel it is to burn an animal alive. Liberals, fucking Democrats. But most folk don't know that deer don't actually feel pain. Hell, they don't even fear death, alright? Which is why pre-cooking in my books is totally okay. I mean, if deers could feel pain, then why the fuck do they keep running in front of my F-150 when I'm doing 120 down the fucking highway? Who the fuck does that if they want to live?
Was clearing an ambush camp when I got pinned down in this corner. With no way to close the distance between me and the bandits, I thought I was fucked when all of a sudden a bunch of zombies started pouring in from the other side. This shit felt so cool when it happened. The gunfire attracted the zombies and it gave me an opportunity to finish off the rest of the enemies. I love it when open world games can have unscripted interactions between NPCs like this. It makes it feel so much more lived in. Talked to Lisa for a bit. Tucker made her a child slave. Someone called that cruel. I just call it good business. Did another biker chase. It was going good for a bit and I was able to get the target down to about 1 HP, but then my bike got damaged heavily. And when that happens, your max speed decreases. Even though I tried cutting him off by driving off-road, I was still too slow. So in a last-ditch effort before the game failed me for being too far away from the target, I got off my bike and started to repair it when he randomly crashed on his own. I swear to God, almost every bike chase I did ended like this, and I'm not going to complain because it made the challenge way easier. Boozer is getting worse, his wound is infected, so Deacon recalls a date him and Sarah went on where she conveniently teaches him how to pick the exact herb Deacon needs to use on Boozer. Wow, what a coincidence. There's one small part where Deacon mentions not liking water. Like a lot of other open world games, Deacon will die if he's in the water for too long, but the one thing Days Gone did that I like is the subtle reasoning as to why. I didn't even notice the first time I played through the game, but essentially Deacon has PTSD from a traumatic incident when he was in the army involving a body of water. Yeah, it's a small detail and not really related to the challenge, but I like it when games and stories don't overly explain everything with cheesy exposition and rather fit in the plot and dialogue more naturally. Deacon's a closed off guy. Obviously he would never spill his guts and tell the player exactly why he doesn't like water, but subtly telling you through the game's story makes him feel more real. When returning to Boozer with the medicine, he calls me a pussy for having a girlfriend. Fellas, it's officially gay to have a girlfriend. While doing some grinding in between missions, I want to try something. Remember like 2 minutes ago when I talked about those freakers helping me clear that camp? Well, what if I did that but with a full horde? So I found this cave with a horde hanging out in it, agitated them, and led them towards a nearby camp. Once I got in, I hid behind a rock and watched the massacre unfold. Very fun, highly recommend doing this if you haven't done it already. Went to another research site to grab a stat upgrade and thought this cave was empty. It wasn't. Scared the shit out of me and I had to run away. Tucker calls me up to let me know that Lisa was taken by the Rippers, so I head out to where they are and start sneaking my way through the compound. Well, kind of sneaking.
Jesus!
This guy wanted to give me a hug, but I wasn't really feeling it. Even after being on fire for a full minute, this guy was somehow still standing. Got to Lisa. She got some light body modifications done. Honestly, you can barely tell. Escaping was easy. Well, for me, not for them.
Nice shot!
Lisa refuses to go back to Tucker's camp. She doesn't want to be a child slave anymore, which I guess is fair. So Deacon calls up Ricky, an old friend and member of the Lost Lake camp, to pick her up and take her in. When Deacon gets back to Boozer, he finds him tripping balls. His infection has gone to his head and he's delirious. So Deacon decides to take him to Lost Lake. His drive is a very fun experience. The same thing happens a few times in the game at important story moments. As you drive Deacon through the desolate and destroyed world, you get an emotional song that fits with the motif and current struggle. It's a very relaxing drive through the beautiful landscape as the song plays in the background. Unless you're me and somehow drive head on into a tree. The worst part, when I respawned, the backing track stopped playing, so I now have to drive the rest of the way in silence as if the game was punishing me for my bad driving. Now at a makeshift camp just outside of Lost Lake, Deacon leaves Boozer to go steal medicine from the camp. See, last time Deacon was at Lost Lake, it didn't end well, and he was told by Iron Mike, the camp leader, that he would be shot on sight if he was seen again. Sneaking into the camp isn't too bad, took a few tries to find the right route, so I did get caught. Like this time, where the girl who's staring right at me repeats the dialogue she's programmed to say when they're looking for me.
I know where you're at.
Yeah. No shit.
I know where you're at.
No, I'll do better, I'll do it. This is what she did, this is what she did. Hang on.
I know where you're at.
Gone to the medicine storage and started to head out with the goods when Ricky and Addie, the camp doctor, catch me. Deacon tries to convince them that it's okay for him to take it, but Ricky has a higher speech level and convinces him to hand over the medicine. After discovering that Deacon was stealing the medicine for Boozer and not to sell to another camp, Addie agrees to let Boozer into the camp so he can be treated. On the ride back to Boozer, Ricky tells Deacon that Lisa, the bald bitch with the crazy face tats, she ran away from camp and her location's unknown. After a bit more convincing, Iron Mike agrees to have Deacon and Boozer in the camp as long as Deacon agrees to do some work here while Boozer heals up.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Addie asked me to get her something from a nearby town, and the only way into the building is through the second floor. In order to do that, I have to break a lock on the ladder to drop it. Normally, you'd shoot it. First, I threw a pipe bomb at it, but that didn't work. So I tried climbing to the building next to it and making my best Mario impression as I jumped across.
It's me, a Mario.
That didn't work either. Before giving up and using my gun, I thought I tried using every throwable I had in case one of them worked. And for some reason, the Molotov cocktail does. I don't know why lighting the metal on fire breaks the lock, but using an explosive directly on it doesn't, but whatever, it worked. Was explained to my cousin, shout out Gabe, world's most banned Valorant player, how you can track hordes in the game. Ended up walking to this cave where the horde was sleeping like a moron. Oh, fuck me. This is so stupid. I'm gonna get fucking murdered. Turns out the whole horde was hiding in the top part of the cave, so by the time I saw them, I was already halfway in. Began running for my life and ended up getting on my bike, but my greedy ass wanted to get a cool shot for the stream. So I drove close to the horde and entered photo mode to get a better look. This game is great photo mode, by the way. My cousin jokingly says I died, and well, just watch. I did die? Oh, fuck! Oh! Yeah, that's what I get for being stupid. That's a clip, right? Met back up with O'Brien. He doesn't have any updates on Sarah yet, but he's working on it. In the meantime, he needs Deacon to do him some favors. Which is fair. O'Brien is risking his life for Deacon, so he might as well return the favor. O'Brien wants Deacon to eavesdrop and place GPS trackers on other Nero research teams. It turns out not all is well in Nero, and the researchers don't know what other groups are doing for some reason, so Deacon becomes his spy. These missions are easy stealth sections, but are fun to do because you get some great exposition on the virus, including the new freaker variants, like this one, called Bleacher. They're albino freakers that are stronger, faster, and more aggressive than normal freakers. Skizzo, the camp dickhead and winner of the Most Sketchy Guy on Earth award, wants to help Deacon out. Normally, Deacon and Skizzo hate each other, but right now they need each other. Skizzo found some intel that a cargo plane carrying weapons and medicine crashed somewhere nearby, and he needs Deke to get it. The plane crash landed in Ripper territory, and the Lost Lake camp has a treaty with the Rippers. Both parties agreed not to go in each other's land and fight, even though the Rippers are totally ignoring the treaty. It's why Deke has to go grab the meds himself and can't be seen doing it. Sneaking into the Ripper territory, I fight my first heavy, like normal human enemies, but stronger and with body armor. It took me 2 cocktails and a bunch of hits just to kill one. They're a bit annoying, but you usually only fight one at a time, so they're not really a big deal. On the last Ripper, I want to throw a smoke bomb to test if I could stealth past someone easily while they're engulfed in smoke, and that's when I learned that stunning an enemy with a smoke bomb allows me to get an instant stealth kill regardless if they saw me or not, meaning I just found a way to kill anyone instantly as long as I have 1 smoke bomb on me. On the way to the plane, I found another heavy and tried the smoke bomb on him. Now the instant kill didn't work because I can't stealth kill heavies, but it still stunned him, allowing me to get an easy kill. Although the smoke bomb is very obviously OP, it doesn't actually make the challenge that much easier. That's because crafting smoke bombs requires some ingredients that are rare, so I'll never have a stockpile of them and will always use them sparingly. When I get to the crash site, I meet my first breaker. Yeah, that zombie looks like Johnny Sins on roids. Breakers are brute zombies, and fighting them with just melee attacks is going to be impossible. Thankfully, I unlocked one of the last melee skills in the game, Executioner, which allows me to stealth kill special variants of zombies, like the Breaker. So I snuck up behind him, shanked his bald ass, and got to skip this whole boss fight by just doing it in stealth. Got back to Lost Lake with the meds when Ricky tells me I need to get to Boozer right away. Unfortunately, the infection has gotten so bad that they need to cut off his arm. What a pussy.
And thank you so much for pressing play on this meditation for healing injuries.
Hey, it's me, Peter Griffin from the hit television show, A Family Guy. Please like and subscribe if you are enjoying a video. If we get Trisby 645 to 500 subs before New Year's, we'll release the long-awaited sequel to The Family Guy 2 with even more guys in family.
Did some more spine for O'Brien, got jump scared by a wolf, hunted down a man for Lost Lake, found a freaker that became ethereal, crashed into another tree, and took Iron Mike on a walk. With the info Deacon has learned spying on Nero, he now knows the Horde sleep in caves during the day, so him and Mike come up with a plan to blow up the entrances of the caves with dynamite to seal the Hordes inside. Mike shows me his collection of dead bodies. Very cool, but also concerned for Mike's mental health now. Fighting my way to town was a bit difficult. The bandits had a sniper set up on top of the gas station, so I had to hide in buildings and behind cover. Luckily, the enemies aren't the smartest.
Nice throw!
And after a well-placed throw, the sniper was dealt with. Now with everybody dead, all we have to do is get on our bikes and leave, but a horde spawned right behind us, and Mike's AI got stuck fighting them. He would not move. So by the time I got on my bike, he was dead. I had to redo that whole second half of the fight. Checked on Boozer. He is very devastated by the loss of his arm.
I don't know about you, but I could use a hand.
Very devastated.
Will I be able to play piano after all this is over?
Did another bike chase. These are getting harder and harder. This time the guy got to take down his 2 cronies with him, so chasing him down and killing the other 2 first took a long time. And when I went in for the final ram should be the name of Johnny Sin's last performance piece before he retires, I almost killed myself, along with the target. Thought I could jump this river that I obviously could not jump and trashed my bike. So I had to walk of shame back to camp. Now before doing another mission, I wanted to hit up a nearby Nero checkpoint to grab the stat upgrade inside. So I went to the one just outside the sawmill. If you played this game before, you probably already know why this is a stupid idea. See, this game's biggest freako horde hangs out there. And you're only supposed to go here at the very end of the game when you have all the maxed out gear and skills. But I really wanted that Nero injector. Breaking into the checkpoint and getting the power ready was easy. The horde is far enough away that they won't spot you as long as you make no loud noises. So all I have to do is make sure every speaker is destroyed before turning on the power, or else I would basically be ringing the dinner bell for 500 freakers. So I checked the perimeter a few times, and once I thought it was clear, I turned on the power. Fortunately, there was still a few speakers intact. These speakers were up on poles and could only be destroyed by shooting them. So I quickly got my upgrade and looted the checkpoint before hauling ass, but I was too late, and I could hear the horde right outside my door. I thought maybe I could cheese the game a little and use photo mode to clip through the wall to see what was on the other side without opening the door, but that didn't work. The instant I opened the door, they started spilling in. I started throwing cocktails and spamming the hell out of the old button on my PS4 controller, praying to God that I would make it out here alive. And somehow I did. Started making my way to the bike, but there was just too many of them. And though I got close, I still didn't make it out. I got really scared here, because when I respawned in the same spot, I thought that meant I would have to keep trying to escape the massive horde until eventually I got lucky enough and was able to make it out. But when I opened the door for the second time, the horde wasn't there. I don't know what happened here. I guess me reloading the game caused the freaker's location to change, but the coast was clear, so I ran to my bike and got the fuck out of there. Even though I escaped, those speakers are still going to be a problem. I know that I have to come back here at the end of the game to kill that horde, and with those speakers on, the horde is going to spawn in weird and it won't be fully bunched up, meaning training zombies is going to be very hard. That's a problem for future Chris, and he's an asshole, so fuck that guy. Did some more spine from Nero, and then went to the Hydro Dam with Ricky. Another easy mission. At this point in the challenge, most missions that have normal combat with human enemies are easy. I have enough skills, stats, and supplies to make it out of these without dying. The hard parts of the challenge are all missions outside of this gameplay loop. I made a joke about it earlier on in the video, but it really is like I'm just playing Dark Souls. prove to the chat that I'm the greatest driver alive. Then I lured this bear to the camp so the NPC guards would kill it and I could sell its meat. Did even more spying on Nero, and then went to clear another bandit camp. When I got there, I found a ridge with a few bear traps on it, so I decided to have some fun. I don't know how I was able to clear this camp like this, because this is possibly the dumbest way you could clear a camp. I showed off my motocross skills yet again. I then had to drive basically across the map to go pick up Boozer's bike. There are a few missions like this that kind of just have you drive really far for some part in the story, and then when you get there, there's a cutscene and the mission ends. Normally these aren't annoying because you could just fast travel so it goes by quick, but on this mode, I have to spend 5 minutes driving there and another 5 back.
Alright, what's up YouTube? In today's video is how to ride a motorcycle.
Now that we know the location of Dynamite, Schizo, a man whose whole persona is dressing like Eminem in 8 Mile, and I head to a nearby mine to find the explosives. Oh, a mission where I go into a dark abandoned closed-in space where my character can no longer run and only walk slowly in a zombie game? This definitely isn't going to be scary. The fight in the mine is easy, it's just a few normal freakers. We grab the dynamite and cut. Back at the camp, I start getting weird calls from Boozer. He's finally living up to his namesake and getting absolutely shit-faced. But he's wandering around outside the camp, so I gotta track him down before he gets himself killed. While doing that, I meet my first screamer. These zombies will scream when they spot you and spawn a small horde. They're very annoying. They are weak though, so killing them is easy, it's just pretty hard to catch them because they run very fast. Found Boozer in the middle of the road. He's all depressed that he lost his arm and can no longer have any two-handed jerk sessions. So Deacon, like a true friend, tells him he will be his second hand, and Boozer changes his mind about living right before Horde starts chasing us. Second most dangerous hand job I've ever given. The most dangerous hand job I've ever given was to this guy named like Solly or something. I don't know. He was some pilot. We were flying a plane, but all of a sudden it started to go down. He told me not to stop, and to this day he says the only reason he was able to safely land was because of the hand job I was giving him. Unlock carry that weight, this skill is super useful. It doubles the carrying capacity of all items except for meds. But still, I can now carry way more supplies, making fights easier. O'Brien wants me to do one more mission, and after doing it, he agrees to meet up. Turns out Sarah survived the stab wound. She got treated at a MASH unit and made a full recovery, but unfortunately the camp she was at got overrun shortly after. Deacon asks why O'Brien made it out and she didn't, and he explains the only people that got moved to a safer location were personnel with clearance levels. Boozer goes ripper hunting after he finds them killing stray dogs, and me and him have a melee off. Just because he has a machete that's an arm now doesn't make him any better than me when it comes to cutting a man's throat open. Went on a trip to the church Sarah and Deacon were married at. Fuck you, I forgot to put my fucking phone on silent. Went on a trip to the church Sarah and Deacon were at so I can burn it down. Fought a stronger version of a heavy here. It took 4 cocktails just to kill 1 person, but after that I can finally do what God intended me to do and burn that church down. Yeah, he wants you to burn them down. I mean, fuck's sakes, he's the creator of the universe, and the best material he can get for his house is dried up oak? Come on, that's a clear sign to arsonists that they should go burn down his house. Did a cool jump on my way back to Lost Lake.
Shit.
While grinding out some XP, I noticed it was now taking me 5 hits to kill a normal freaker with my machete, and not 3. So somehow freakers got more health. Now this could have happened because of multiple reasons. It all depends on how the game was coded and planned out. But I had no real way to test it right now. So I went to the one place on Earth where all hyper-intelligent beings spend their time. Reddit. Looked to see if anyone had an answer for me, and when I didn't find it, I asked the question myself, and I never got a concrete response. My best guess is that enemies' health was either increasing because I was progressing further in the story and I passed some sort of marker that signaled the game to increase enemies' health, or enemies' health was increasing because I leveled up enough that I passed some sort of marker that increased enemies' health. I never really got an answer, so if anybody's watching this and knows why what happened, let me know in the comments. If I ever do another Days Gone challenge, it'd be very useful to know what happened here. Because if enemy health is increasing with my level, that means I can control it. I can choose not to level up and keep zombies weak. Also, look at this ridiculous list I found. It's top 10 tips only pro players know about Days Gone, and tip number 5 is upgrade your bike. So if you played this game and at any point have upgraded your bike, then you're basically a professional gamer and you're ready to be signed to an esports team. Chased my childhood dog back to hell. He was a good boy, but he should be in hell. He knows what he did to those kids, and God will never forgive him. Call me Michael Bay Boys, because I'm out here fixing Transformers. I thought I was going to be fucked here, though. Defending Ricky with no gun would have been impossible because the nudes were jumping off from the roof to her. But thankfully, I could get on the roof and just body the kids up there. Jumped across the river properly this time. Well, almost. After killing this large dog with antlers, I find a small one nearby and give it to Boozer to cure his depression. Even though we got the dynamite, we still can't blow the cave until we get the det cord, and Skidmark knows where we can find one. It's deep in Ripper territory, so me and him have to sneak our way in. We pass some Rippers having a bonfire. I don't know what they're drinking, but I would like to try some. Help the girl go to sleep, and finally got into the building with the det cords. It's filled with nudes, so I get inside and start killing more kids than an incel with an AR at American high school. Cleared the building and grabbed the cords, but on the way out, Skizzo betrays me. What a surprise. The world's most obviously untrustworthy guy betrayed me.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 anime betrayals.
After being captured by the Ripper, Deacon wakes up to Carlos, the leader of the Rippers, talking to him. But when he gets close to him, Deacon realizes that Carlos is actually Jesse, a former member of Deacon and Boozer's motorcycle club that was kicked out and had his tattoos forcibly removed by the club members. For those of you that don't understand, forcibly removing someone's tattoos means you burnt them off. That's why the Rippers tried burning off Boozer's tattoo in the beginning of the game, and why Jesse does it to Deacon now. He wants revenge. Jesse tells Deacon he's going to get Boozer next and knocks him out. Deacon wakes up when the metalhead version of Mr. Clean comes into the room. Oh wait, that's Lisa. Turns out she joined the Rippers after ditching Lost Lake. She let Deacon escape. All my gear is now gone. All my guns. No, I'm just joking. Didn't have any. But my melee weapon supplies and all my throwables are gone. So I have to stealth my way out of the camp and find my stuff. Pretty easy section, just stealth, except for this one part where I got behind someone, but it didn't let me kill them. Got my stuff back and was about to leave when I found Lisa about to be raped by another Ripper, so I killed him and told Lisa to run away from the Rippers before they kill her. She then hugged me, which is gross. I don't like touching girls, they have cooties. Ran back to my bike while killing some Rippers on the way.
That was such a sick play.
Oh my god, Chris from the past is such a nerd. Shut up! Once I got to my bike, I started getting escorted by 2 men from Lost Lake. This section now becomes a bike chase section, but instead of hurting someone, I'm protecting 2 people. My first try, I didn't have a great start. But I learned quickly that I won't fail the level if one of the 2 guys die. I'll only fail if both do. And the second one goes down a bit later. I run him over just to make sure he's actually dead. On my second try, I got a better start and was able to actually do it. Honestly, if this section was longer, it would have been impossible or one of the hardest parts of the challenge, but because it was so short, I was just able to do it. Got to Lost Lake as it's being raided by the Rippers and started working my way in. Found a building and went inside to check for Boozer, but it was just a Ripper holding someone hostage. And when I got close, they killed them. I didn't think anything of it, but the game failed me. I don't know why they made saving this hostage a super important task that can't be failed, but until I rescue them, I can't continue the mission. Can't get close because the second I do, the hostage will be killed, so my next strategy was to try throwing something at them. I can't use a cocktail or other explosives because they will kill both the Ripper and the hostage, so I tried a smoke bomb first. But the second the smoke bomb went off, the hostage dies. I don't know if he died because the smoke touched him, I don't know if he died because the explosion from the smoke bomb killed him, and I don't know if he died if it was because the Ripper let go of the hostage once he was in the smoke and that killed him. So next try, I threw the smoke bomb on the outside of the building. When I locked the door, it failed me instantly. The smoke had gone through like I planned, but it still killed the hostage, so I can't use the smoke bomb at all. On my next try, I remembered that I have rocks. No, not the pair in my pants, but a throwable rock I can use to distract guards. And if I have a skill called Rock On, it can stun enemies. Unfortunately, I didn't have that skill yet, but I still want to try the rock. When I unlocked the door, it became very difficult to line up the throw because of the narrow entranceway, and if I didn't hit the Ripper directly, it wouldn't do anything. While lining up the perfect shot, the Ripper killed the hostage, meaning there's a timer. I only have 10 seconds to kill the Ripper once I unlock the door. If I don't, he'll kill the hostage. I thought, fuck it, using the rock is going to be very hard to do, and without the skill, it's probably useless. So I decided to try other strats. I tried smoke bombs again, but from a different location outside. I tried throwing a cocktail at the ceiling and hoping it would catch the Ripper on fire. I missed the throw on my first try, and on my second I got it, but it also killed the hostage. I then tried rushing the hostage and killing the Ripper as quickly as possible. Maybe if I got close to her fast enough, she wouldn't be able to react in time and kill him. That didn't work the first time. The second time though, I was able to find a place in the building I could roll to without triggering the script that kills the hostage. I still died because of the timer, but now I knew I could get at least somewhere close to them without failing. I spent the next 5 tries or so just trying to get close to her and the hostage, but it didn't matter. I was never fast enough to get the kill with the melee before the hostage died. Out of ideas, I tried the rock again. I missed my throw and the hostage died, but before it reset, I threw another rock at the Ripper out of frustration and it killed her. But why? I mean, the rock should have done nothing. I don't even have the skill that makes it useful, so why did it kill her? And then I had my epiphany. I'll let Chris from the past explain it.
It makes sense because I've been one-shotting her with the melee weapon. Okay. Both her and the guy are set probably 1 HP. So no matter what happens, you have to have a perfect shot. If I fuck up and touch him, he instantly dies. If I fuck up and touch her, she instantly dies. Any weapon. I use the worst pistol in the game, and I can still one-tap her regardless of difficulty.
Yeah, that's my best guess as to what happened. If the game sets the Ripper's health to 1, then regardless of what weapon you use or the difficulty you are on, you will always kill the Ripper with 1 clean shot, or in this case, rock throw. So I tried again, and with 1 clean rock throw to the head, I killed the Ripper and saved the hostage without using a gun. Got real excited, I even mimicked the noise of the rock hitting the Ripper's bald-ass head.
Oh, and it made a beautiful noise.
Now, I'm not 100% sure if I'm right about the Ripper having its health set to 1 or something similar, so if you know anything about the coding of this game or this level, let me know in the comments down below because I genuinely want to know why the Ripper's health was that low. The rest of the raid is easy, and after a bit I find myself in the main building with Iron Mike, Skizzo, Boozer, and Jesse. Skittles confesses to sacrificing Boozer and Deacon to Jesse for a peace offering. Iron Mike does some convincing, and the Rippers agree to leave Lost Lake and a ceasefire.
Are you natty?
Unfortunately not.
Skizzo gets thrown into lockup, Deacon raids his cabin, and the game forces me to pick up a sniper. I tried getting rid of it, but the game won't let me, which tells me I'm probably going to be forced into another sniping section soon. Now, before continuing with the game, I went to go loot, and I had to loot a lot. Remember, I lost all supplies and stockpiled throwables I had when Jesse captured me, so I need to go make sure I have a lot of supplies on me before starting the next mission in case there's some sort of section where I need to use a bunch of gear to get through it. After looting some houses, I went to the Lucky Lad mine to loot some more. Now, I should have known this was a dumb idea. I know I get scared easy, and I'm literally walking into an abandoned mine shaft willingly. This is equivalent to that one dumbass character in the horror movie that walks willingly downstairs to go check out that mysterious noise all by themselves in the dark. Like, you're gonna get killed, bro. What are you doing? While exploring the mine, I suddenly start to hear this, and I can't find where it's coming from. So I started to get freaked out. Ran in the other direction, and I found this doorway that I couldn't go through, and the zombies couldn't go through either. What made this invisible wall even weirder was the fact I could throw this to the other side no problem, but I still couldn't get across. I spent the next hour looting the open world as much as I could, and honestly, I still didn't have as much as I did before I got captured. Like I said in the beginning of the video, playing on Survival 2 made looting a real Dolores Umbridge. Like a real bitch. Like Dolores Umbridge is that pink lady from Harry Potter that everybody hates, you know, the one who made Harry write like you can't tell lies in his arm. Yeah, fuck that person. I hate them. You know what? Actually, for that joke, I could have just said a real JK Rowling. That person sucks. Finally, I started the next mission. Deacon grabs the explosives. Boozer and him plan to blow up the dam overlooking the Ripping camp to drown them like rats. Once we get to the dam, Deacon and Boozer split up. Because Boozer only has one arm, he's gonna go to the bridge and plant the bombs, while Deacon covers him with Skizzo's sniper from a nearby building. I tried to see if I could skip this part, or even follow Boozer, but the game forces you to stay in that area. And like the Copeland mission, all other options are locked off on the weapon wheel except for the sniper. Knowing this was probably gonna be another part I failed, I still quickly checked out some speedruns and glitch videos to see if there's some sort of skip here, but once again, there wasn't. I tried to see if I could run out of ammo and maybe that would change something, but the game gives you unlimited bullets here. I tried waiting a bit to see if maybe I didn't have to shoot the snipers and Boozer would get through on his own, but that was impossible too. Until I started killing Rippers, the game wouldn't continue. So another option, I started blasting. Now I shot a lot here, but I'm just going to count it as one fail. I really can't be bothered to count each individual shot. After clearing out the dam, Deacon and Boozer blow that thing up and the Rippers camp gets flooded. Finish off the rest of the Rippers wasn't too hard to fight because of all the throwables I got after looting for a few hours before starting this mission. I had plenty of meds, cocktails, and bombs to throw at the Rippers. After killing them, a few freakers and a breaker spawned in. Because I learned a while ago that I could stealth kill enemies that have seen me if I stun them first with a smoke bomb, I was able to get an easy kill in the breaker. The rest of the fight until the lodge is easy. Killed this one Ripper who died while throwing it back. You know I had to go into photo mode to get a better look at that man's fine fat ass. Inside the lodge, I have a boss fight with Jesse. This fight is melee only, and Deacon does it while high as fuck on PCP. So basically the same way I've been playing the game so far. I forgot to tell you guys, but I've just been pounding the PCP back here. The fight is easy. I honestly remember it being way harder the first time I played the game, but that might be because my skill loadout in that run wouldn't have had all the skills that make my melee attack stronger. Killed Jesse on my first try, and with the Rippers defeated, we went back to Lost Lake. Deacon lets Iron Mike know that the Rippers have been dealt with, and Iron Mike tells him that he let Skizzo go. He knew Deacon would have killed Skizzo at some point, and Iron Mike is too much of a pacifist to let that slide. So Skizzo was kicked out of Lost Lake and told never to return.
Go mine some gold, make a crown so I look bold.
Deacon has another flashback date with Sarah. It's when he picked her up from work where a dickhead security guard named Jim pulls a gun on Deacon for like no reason. It's a bit weird this guy's a security guard because he's acting like a cop pulling his gun out for no reason like that. The whole point of that flashback is so that Deacon can remember that Sarah had government clearance. She is working in a top secret lab, which means Nero might have evacuated her when they evacuated other personnel like O'Brien. There's a chance she's still alive. He calls up O'Brien and asks him to check if she got out. Top tier driving here. Spent a few hours grinding. I cleared out all the Nero checkpoints and the Ripper camps in Iron Brute. Some highlights include almost getting bodied by some breakers, a screamer, and a small freaker horde all at the same time. And also the 10 minutes I spent trying to clear this one jump so I can get the Nero injector hidden up there. The max speed of my bike was just barely high enough for me to be able to clear the jump, and after a few tries, I finally got it. Cleared another camp where some Rippers must have been lying because their pants were indeed on fire. The rest of them got finished off by a wolf like they're a bunch of furries at a sex convention. Came across some bandits hanging out at a checkpoint I cleared earlier, which had its speakers still on. So as I fought the bandits, freakers started spawning in, including a breaker. While taking cover behind this checkpoint generator, I realized I could still turn it off and on, which means I can turn the power off at checkpoints I've already turned on that still have their speakers on and make the speakers turn back off, making it way safer for me to pass through those areas. Finally met back up with O'Brien. He tells me that because of Sarah's clearance level, she got moved to a different camp. That camp was overtaken by a local militia, but that doesn't mean she's dead. It's very possible that she was recruited into the militia. O'Brien can't take Deacon to the camp because there's no fly zone for Nero choppers, so Deacon asks Iron Mike for help getting across the mountain range to the area south of Lost Lake. He agrees, but tells Deacon he can't come back, so Deacon says his goodbye to Boozer and gives him his cut. They hug, which is like super gay. I had no idea they were boyfriends. I thought they were just best friends this whole time, but it turns out they've been doing it. Iron Mike brings Deacon to the base of the mountain before leaving him on his own, and I get to do another driving section where some music plays. This time, I didn't fuck it up by crashing though. Once I got to the top of the mountain, I heard some gunfire and drove towards it. I found some militiamen not having a great time. They got cornered by a rager. No, that's not the nickname for a dude in his 30s whose only hobbies are doing coke and going to raves. It's the name of an infected bear. Remember when I had a whole boss fight with another bear near the beginning of the game, and it was like pretty hard? This is going to be like that, but way harder, because an infected animal is much stronger than a normal animal. After using 6 pipe bombs and 6 cocktails, the bear still had 70% of its health left. I switched to proxy bombs and put one down right before I got tackled by the bear. It went off as I got tackled, glitching me out and removed me from the bear's grip and back on my feet, but I got bodied a second later. Don't think one of Deacon's makeshift bandages is gonna fix that. Came up with a different plan of attack. I set up some proximity bombs and then started to attack the bear. Tried to get him to run over the planted bombs as we were fighting. It kinda worked. The bear was so fast that he would run past some of the bombs before the fuse finished, but other times he wouldn't be moving fast enough and would get caught. Died again a little later. Next life, I tried meleeing the bear while it was on fire and got this nightmare of a death sequence. To try later, I set up proximity bombs in a diamond-like shape before starting the fight. I did this so the bear would trigger the furthest bomb first, and when it went off, a chain reaction would cause the other 3 bombs to go off at the same time, ensuring the bear would be caught in the blast zone. Think of it like me combining all 4 bombs to make one big bomb that has a blast radius 4 times as big. Thankfully this technique worked, and I know now I can set up bombs each time to guarantee a good amount of damage done to the bear each time I retry. I honestly didn't have a lot of loot on me, so I have to run around the area and grab some extra supplies mid-fight. While getting ready to throw a cocktail at the bear, I accidentally shot, so I killed myself and reset the checkpoint. Apparently the bear didn't like me offing himself, so he tried to put out the fire on me by smothering it. He should have used the lighter touch. On my next life, I had a perfect run. I didn't miss one bomb throw, the bear ran over every proximity trap, and I was able to hit all the cocktails. But still, after using all my throwables, the bear had over 30% HP left. I looted what little I could find and crafted one more cocktail. At the back of the shack, there's a propane tank, and I was able to set it off while the bear was standing next to it, reducing his health to less than 5%. With no other explosives, I tried using flashbangs to blind the bear before going in for a melee, but that was too risky. So I ran around trying to find more loot when I spotted another red barrel in the back of the map. The only thing I had left to explode the barrel was an attractor bomb. These bombs are attached to noisemakers that you throw to attract a group of freakers before it explodes about 10 seconds later. The problem is, the bear isn't attracted to the noise, so I knew it was super risky using this because it was going to be very unlikely I can time the explosion up properly to make sure the barrel went off when the bear was close by. And unfortunately, that's what happened. The bomb went off and the bear was nowhere near it. And I thought I was fucked. I didn't have anything else I could use to damage the bear. But somehow, I was able to lure the bear into the fire left by the barrel, and he caught on fire. I somehow burnt the bear to death while on top of a snowy mountain. The members of the militia offered to take me into their camp for food and a night's rest as a thank you for saving their lives. Well, not all their lives. That first guy is never coming back. At the first outpost, I meet Commander Curry. He thanks me, and when I go to shake his hand, I notice he's wearing the ring Deacon gave to Sarah the night she got on the chopper.
Only you can prevent wildfires. Fire!
Okay, I was originally just going to make this one crazy long video, but I want to try splitting it into parts. The video would probably be twice as long if I did just one part, so I think splitting it up makes sense. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me grow my channel as a small YouTuber. Plus, you're going to want to sub so you can get notified when I drop part 2. How did Curry get those rings? Will Deacon find Sarah? How am I going to fight all the endgame hordes? How am I going to complete the biggest horde in the game, the Sawmill Horde? You can find out when I drop part 2, or right now if you're watching in the future. Wait, actually, if you're watching in the future, can I ask you a question? Does humanity finally get its shit together and launch the great scientific expedition on Worlds Unknown, the female body, to finally discover where the elusive clitoris is? Because I've been looking and I still cannot find that thing anywhere.
Alright, for real, I'm dropping it.